Living alone is not lonely the way people make it out to be. Oh, you live alone? Aren't you lonely? Don't you miss having company? Are you scared? I've heard that a million times. Aren't you scared living alone? No, I'm not. I mean, it can be quiet, but I feel like that quiet is where I get to know who I am. A lot of times you don't get to understand who you really are when you're in a room full of other people. You may start mimicking them. You don't get an idea of who you really are. Living alone was never part of my plan. All my life, I have been around people. All my life. Anyway, but as I grew up in a house full of people. I grew up with my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, my nieces, my nephews. At one point, it was so many people in the house, but we had fun. I'm going to say that. I had a great childhood, and it was always a lot of people around. And then after I left my parents' house, I was a mother. So when I left my parents' house, I had a child, I had a husband. So living alone was just never part of my plans. I was always, you know, aware of a woman should be married, a man should be married. Even my brother, he left home after, he was married, and that's just how we were raised. It was, you want to be married and have a family, have children. That was it. Living alone, oh, that was such a stigma at the time. When you live alone, it really teaches you who you are if you're not afraid to learn who you are. Some people are afraid to know who they are by themselves. They always have to be attached to someone else to feel like they have meaning or feel like they have worth. When you learn to live alone, you realize how much you are worth and how much you deserve better than what you may have dealt with in the past. You guys know I've been married 3 times before and divorced 3 times before. And it was always because I felt like that's what I was supposed to do. But I don't feel that way anymore. Once you get away from that, you realize there's no more arguing. There's no more sharing or compromising what you want to do with somebody else. It's no more moodiness from another person coming into your peaceful space to change your attitude and everything. You get to learn what time you want to wake up. I always thought I was an early bird. No, I'm not. I like to sleep in. I really do. Now that I've been by myself, I'll sleep till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. It doesn't matter. I don't look at time anymore as I've got to get up and do this. I really don't. Even now when I make appointments, I tell them make them after 10 because I'm not up before then. And that just tickles them because they know I used to be the first one in the doctor's office. Not anymore. I don't have that need to wake up early anymore. Some people keep that routine. I just didn't. Once I retired and got used to being retired, I don't get up early anymore. I sleep as late as I can. And sometimes when I go to bed, no, I'll get in the bed early, but I don't go to sleep till late. So, I never was able to just get in the bed and lay there, watch TV, read, play on my phone, whatever I wanted to do, because it was somebody always, why are you doing that? Why are you on your phone? That's another thing. I don't have to listen to somebody telling me, why are you always on your phone? Because that's where I do a lot of my work at. But it's just nice to have your time as your time without feeling like you're neglecting someone or things like that. I always thought this was my thinking when I was younger. When people were alone, I either felt like they were a selfish person or something was wrong with them where nobody else wanted them, right? That's not the case. You get to make your own solutions to problems you may have. You get to make your own decisions. I'm going to be honest. There are times I wish I had someone to share decision making with or problem solving with, but it's just me. So, it's okay, because just like everything else, that feeling soon passes anyway, and I'm glad I'm able to solve my own problems. And being honest, there are lonely times. Like, holidays are different. They're more quiet. You realize it makes you reminisce. It makes you think about how holidays used to be with family. And a lot of times, once you lose the head of that family, which is the mother, or, your mom or whatever, which I did lose, and it kind of separated our family a lot, where we just don't get together like we used to. She was the head of the family and the glue that kept us together. But when you have those lonely moments, it really just lets you know that you're human. I mean, everybody probably gets lonely at some point, but what do you do about it? You find something to distract your mind. You find things to do. As a matter of fact, things I've been doing. You guys, I put together this 500-piece puzzle. And then, as I was cleaning today, I found another one. So I'll be doing puzzles and getting them all set up. I'll show you the one this one I just put together. I'll show you that. It's just really hard to explain the peace that you get living alone. Like I say, you don't have to argue with anyone. You don't have to compromise what you're doing. You don't have to hear somebody asking you where you're going, when you're coming back, why are you in there so long. Everything you do is on your time. That's one of the best parts about living alone. And your home, when you live alone, your home becomes like a sanctuary for you. It's like your quiet place. Listen. The only noise I hear is the clock ticking. And that's a wonderful thing. When you just want peace and quiet, you want to sit in a quietness. Living alone is wonderful. You get to listen to the music that you like to listen to. You get to dance when and wherever you want in the house. And when you want to rest, it's the best place to be, is at home in your sanctuary. And when you're living alone, it doesn't mean you're living without love, because you're learning to love your own company. You're learning who you are and loving yourself. That's part of the process when you live alone, if that's what you want to do. Some people, it doesn't faze them or whatever, but sometimes think about it. Think about, who are you? When you live alone, think about it. Do you love yourself? Do you truly love yourself? Is there something you want to fix about yourself without somebody else telling you need to fix it? Can you find your own flaws to fix them? When you're choosing a romantic or a friendship, you're choosing it to add to your life, not to fill a void that you feel like you're missing. And I think that's what happened with me when I was younger. I was always filling that void because I didn't want to be by myself. And that's why I got married 3 times, because I thought I wasn't supposed to live alone. Like there was something wrong with living alone. I mean, it's just the way my generation was. I'm a boomer. So in the boomer era, it was family, marriage, men and women. You leave home, you either go to college, you get married, you have kids, you have a family. That was the boomer era. We're in a totally different era now, where living alone isn't looked at as a failure or an embarrassment, where you have to hear, why are you still single? Why are you alone? I've heard that before. And I used to say, because I haven't found the right person. Now I say, because I chose to be alone. Because I chose me. That's my answer now to being single or living alone. So if you're someone who is living alone, embrace it. Because you're not broken. You're not a failure. You shouldn't be embarrassed to be alone. It's a time where you are becoming someone who really, really loves their own company. Now, if you guys like this video, go ahead, give me a like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, and hype this video up. See you in the next one. Bye.